Hmm. You go. Hello. Okay.
Hello, Jerry.
Okay, cool, cool. How are you,
Good.
Dante? Thanks for thanks for joining us.
Hmm. Oh, I see Pat's on here,
Hello,
and,
everyone.
and David Antony Taylor, people that I know.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've met before, Jerry.
Yeah, we met on John's meeting.
Okay, oh, John's meeting. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Mm.
you were going to be going on a trip to see your family for the first time.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
How did that turn out?
Well, so I was sharing about it. Because how long ago was this, Jerry? Do you?
About a month ago.
Oh, about a month ago. So yeah, this was I
Oh,
had I had
this,
been sharing about how when I met them before because I didn't meet any new family members this in the last month, but I had met some Perry family members a little while ago.
as long as you stay connected, that's what
That's
counts.
right. That's it. That's it.
That's what counts.
Hmm.
So, we've had a whirlwind weekend and a week as a whole. We just have to keep everything in its proper perspective and
Hmm.
pray for our country and these different families who have, tragically been involved in the floods.
Oh yeah, too. There in Texas. Yeah,
My goodness.
they found two of those girls in trees. That was the only thing that saved them.
Well, it was a national disaster for sure.
Hmm.
It was a national of nature. Uh, it,
Hmm.
it, it was that of a natural. It was a 100-year flood, and I'm in engineering, and we
Hmm.
design buildings and design communities for 100-year flood,
Hmm.
and all those in Texas, that whole area was within the floodplain,
Okay.
and and when we design these, we give some exemptions, but you have to be cautioned that you're you're living in a floodplain, and
Sure.
there's rains that come every 100 years that will inundate that place,
Hmm.
and there was there's some questions about how much of alert they had, but it was an act of nature for sure, for as much as that rained in that particular time. And you would think that they would have sirens or something, because if you're on a vacation in a rustic area, your goals are to sort of unplug. Then you sleep and unplug.
Yeah.
to plug your phone. And when they started getting alerts, you were getting them on telephones and their cells. But something that major, you would want to hear a horn or a siren. I'm from Nebraska, and when them tornadoes come, man, they put some sirens out there, and you got to go downstairs.
Yeah, 'cause I think I heard it rose 30 feet within hours.
Yes, yes. So that we still have to have some empathy towards them and for the
Oh,
family,
absolutely.
and it just adds to everything else that's going on in our country. But we still got to press on reconstructing our families and saving a legacy for our descendants, so that they don't have to go through as much as we've had to do to construct our family, reconstruct our family.
Sure. Yeah, see, I had five of my grandkids and my daughter, they were down in Houston and Santa Fe, Texas. But my daughter and her family had moved back here to Indiana since. But my son's two kids are still down there in Houston. So when I heard that news, and my granddaughter's in various different camps, basketball camps, and I was, then they said it was down this near San Antonio. But yeah, you never know. So where do you live, Jerry?
I live in San Diego,
Okay, San Diego. Okay.
California.
Hmm.
Let me have more people that are joining. So let me
Okay.
let them in. They're joining. So
Hi, yes, I am.
how was your 4th of July? Anybody can comment on it. How was your 4th?
Mine was fine. I don't, yeah, I don't really celebrate the fourth like that.
Well, we had family. We had a group of family over. So now, like Dana, Dana or Dana, you
It's
know,
Dana.
is Dana. Yeah. See, celebrating the fourth is not something that we sell. Because of what's happening right now. It's really rough to celebrate independence when we've never been really well, yeah, I'm not getting into all that, but I do celebrate the family time, just getting together and spending that time. It's just a time we get all of our family together. If you understand that, yeah.
Of course, of course. I, I agree with you. And, we, as family historians, we definitely know the history behind these different holidays, quote unquote holidays. And
Yes. And so Jerry, I'm 10 year, I'm only 10 years into this, but the knowledge, the information, um, I've gained so much, but there's so much understanding that I'm now aware of that, you know, it just blows my mind about what has happened over these years. And then things that um, like again, Juneteenth is one that we just celebrated. Didn't know a whole lot about it until like 3 years ago. and then there's just a lot that we've learned, and so we were never, we may have been freed, but we were never treated equal. And that thumb is always down on us, and and then like right now it's even worse. And I'm not trying to be political at all, but it's just times are really tough right now for a lot of people, even white people that I know, with the with some of the stuff that's happened.
Well, th at this time, we start off with a brief introduction because
Mhm.
we're meeting from all over the country, and we're also dealing with any kind of technical challenges we have uh, with your internets, and it's just a brief period of introduction, especially for some of you who have joined for the first time. Thank you so much for joining, and please give us a brief intro of yourself, where you live, what are some of the family uh, surnames you're searching, and uh, any recent any recent finds, and um, what is your purpose for being involved with your family's genealogy. We'll start with Sandra, then Dana, and uh, David. Could you start off, Sandra, please?
Okay. I'm Sandra Bowie Webb. I live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I started last year in April trying to create a family tree and work with my DNA. So I'm new to all of this. I'm working with my mother's side of the family more than my father because my parents separated when I was about 4. So I'm just working with the material side of my family, the mother side of my family now.
And what have you found?
Uh, on my grandfather's mother side, I found my great great grandfather, uh, my grandfather's something, the uncles, uh, his mother, and dates of birth and death.
Have you have you met any of your current new DNA relatives?
Uh, well, when I joined last year, I had a first cousin who was looking for her father because she had been adopted. Uh, she lives in England, and all she knew was that her father was a GI serviceman. So that really got me going, and I found out which uncle that was, and I've been communicating with her frequently. But the other people are just now and then that I communicate with. Nothing steady with anybody.
How important was that to help her and collaborate with that first cousin?
Uh, I didn't quite understand.
How important was that to you and that first cousin to collaborate and meet each other?
It was very important to me because her dad was the uncle that kept in touch with me all my life, all of his life. And when he passed, he had 2 daughters, and that kept in. Well, one of them kept in touch with me until she died. So when I found this person as my cousin, I really felt like I needed to keep in touch with her because her dad kept in touch with me. I was really sorry that you know she couldn't meet him. She has one. The other sister is not reaching out to her, um, but it's been good talking to her and communicating with her. We're both 80 years old now.
Does anybody have a question for Sandra? Thank you for that testimony. That story.
Okay.
Anybody else has a question for Sandra?
Well, I've been on different calls with Sandra before, but I think I just learned more this time than any of the other times Sandra and I've been on these calls before. But
But
that was interesting.
that's one of the reasons why we're here. We want to connect and get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yeah, thank you.
Dana?
Hi, my name is Dana Dorsey. I live in Los Angeles, California. I think our connection here is through Friday Jones. I'm sorry, hold on. I'm so sorry. Um, she could not be here today. She's recovering from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking the call in her stead. Um, I think we know you through, or we are acquainted with you through Reggie Romaine. Um, Let me see what else. I didn't actually know what this was. I knew it was about genealogy, but I didn't know specifically exact what it was. But knowing that I am the facilitator of our family reunions, so I would be interested in knowing more about genealogy and how to trace our genealogy. I have a cousin that started our family tree or tracing our family, and then um, she hit a hard stop at our great grandfather, Willie Stone, and she wasn't able to find out any more information. So that's my story. Thanks.
Well, who have you discovered that you didn't
I
know?
haven't looked. I haven't looked. I
Do you have
haven't looked at any genealogy. I haven't done anything with our family.
do you
Like I said, my cousin had started, and I'm interested in finding out. I'm interested.
have you taken the DNA test?
No,
Do you want to?
possibly.
Well, let me know
I would
when you.
say possibly because I have to know what will I gain from taking a DNA test.
Yes.
That's a good
Uh,
one.
I can go next because I explained this to Dana because
Go
okay,
ahead.
see, so let me tell you a little bit about my story. My name's Dwayne Perry. I'm 72 years old myself, but it was 10 years ago that I got sick and tired of introducing myself and then people immediately coming up with these Perry names and asking me, did I know any of them? I didn't know any Perrys. I didn't even know anything about my grandfather because my father came from his father had 4 kids by 4 different women, and he didn't have anything to do with his father. So I knew no Perrys that I was related to. So at 62 years old, I was just so embarrassed. I said, I'm going to find out this Perry family. And so I used DNA. I submitted my DNA through Ancestry, and that didn't really help. I didn't find any connections there, but when I downloaded my raw data and uploaded to GEDmatch, I had one cousin that was right at the top, and he wasn't even a Perry, he was a heel. And once I contacted him, then in our conversation, he tells me that my father had a sister that was still alive. She was 78 years old. So immediately I contacted her and went to St. Louis. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. And so I went to St. Louis, met her. She knew about me, but I didn't know anything about her. And then she opened this door wide open, found out about my grandfather's. There's tons of pictures. I knew now where he came from. He was born in Sugar Lock, Noxubee County, Mississippi. Okay. And then she also introduced me to Katie Mae Henry, which was a close cousin. She was 99 years old. She lived in LA. So I flew out to LA to meet her, and she had Earl Perry in the living room waiting when I got there. So that opened up another branch of the Perry family. And it's just been in these 10 years, it's been one thing after another. And the Perry family is huge. I found out where they were enslaved down in Paulette, Mississippi. I've been to the plantation where they were enslaved. I found out tons of history about the family, and I've even written a book about it because this was amazing, the things that I found. So that was down there. That's the Perry family. I also, on my maternal side, there was my mother. There was one branch of the family that I couldn't go out to the 16 grandparents, and that was on my mother's side, and that was the Lawson family. And this is a recent found out that there was a connection to the Newton family. And the Newton, this is a white family out of Alabama. They were from the East Coast, but they migrated down to Alabama. So I had over 180 DNA matches through this Newton family. So this is one I found the slave schedule that I think that he is from, where he is. But that's something that really digging into, that's tying DNA and ancestry and some of the others together. I don't want to take up a lot of time, so I'm just saying DNA is very important. That opened the door wide open for me.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you, Dante. Dana, are you
Yes.
are you aware that California is they're as a whole they have a reparations package that is going through the legislature?
Yes, I'm very aware. I'm a reparations activist.
And are you with your research, have you gotten your ancestors that you can identify before 1900? Do you have that kind of information?
No, I don't even think my cousin, I think, oh, the only person we knew was, this is on my maternal side, was uh, my great grandfather, Willie Stone. And I think she hit a block at that point, and she couldn't, whatever research she was doing, she couldn't find out anything else. So I think that's as far as she got.
Well, I don't want you to be the last to know that a lot of the bills are being passed right now, and
No, I'm aware.
and and, and you qualify. And this is one of the things that we want to help you with. Share
Okay.
share some of the tools that we have, so you can identify your ancestors for your family and for yourself.
No, I would love that. I don't have anything on my father's side. I just know the name of his grandparents and his mother, and that's about it. So I would like to know, all of the genealogy from the maternal and the paternal side, if I could find out that information.
Eugenia, you just have any comments on her statement right there? Any comments on that?
You're never done and you never find them all.
Okay. If I could just actually go back to the enslaved, that would be fine with me. Or something just leading back to possibly Africa, African tribe, even if it's not Africa, even if it's America, I'll take it. Or what became the America.
Mhm. Well, I want to, welcome you again to our genealogy group, and this is one of the
Thank you.
platforms that we use to help you, reconstruct your family. And with some of
Okay.
the tools we have, once you have your DNA results, it breaks it down, your results down to your mother's side and your father's side. And then
Okay.
the closest DNA matches. And so you have a great future of research ahead of you once you make the decision to. I recommend get the DNA test.
Okay. And how do I go about doing that?
First, you have to decide you want one. You want to take.
Okay, so I want a DNA test. Now what?
Look, to explain why you said that, Jerry.
Do it. Go ahead.
No,
Go on,
see,
Dante.
no, this is Dwayne. This is Dwayne.
Yeah.
So Dana, the reason why he said that is because DNA doesn't lie. So once you get that DNA test, you got to be sure that you want to know your bloodline because your bloodline may not be exactly what you thought. That's
I don't think anything.
no.
So
But do you understand what I'm saying?
no,
There's
no, I know what you're saying because I've heard other people talk
Mhm.
about being misled, being given oral history, and it's not
Yep.
founded. Even our research with my cousin, my grandmother, through her oral history, had told me growing up that she was part Cherokee, that her mother was part Cherokee or full-blooded Cherokee or something. And when my cousin did the research, she didn't find that.
Well,
So I'm prepared.
well, what I'm saying though is like
Uh-huh.
my wife found out who she thought was her father was not.
Oh, okay.
That's even deeper than Cherokee or whatever. This was very hurtful because she loved this a family of 8
Hmm.
and so we wasn't even looking for it. It just came up,
Right.
and it took a while, but then she's okay with it now. But that's the thing about this DNA research. Like I needed it to find my family, but sometimes that information will lead you somewhere else. So I think that's
Okay.
what Jerry was talking about.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. I think with DNA, from what I'm hearing from so many people along with this group is that you uh have no expectations.
Mm.
Like you just said, DNA doesn't lie.
Yep.
Whatever the results are is what the results are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I believe in saying what you mean and mean what you say.
Hmm.
You said that you wanted to take a test. I have one right here for
You want, oh yeah, what, a test? Oh,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
So is
And
it a blood test or is something else?
it's an ancestry DNA kit. This is it.
Okay.
And I'll use some of your contact information, the basic information that you need for the kit, and then I'll mail it to you. And then you would take the test and mail it off to Ancestry. So
Okay.
I will donate that to you so you can start your journey.
Hmm.
Okay.
And you just basically just spit in
Thank you
it.
for that.
You just spit into a tube. That's all. It's not harmful.
Okay. I'm not worried,
Okay,
but
that
thank you.
you're welcome. You're so welcome. That leads us to, go ahead, David. Could you give us your intro, please? You're on mute.
You're muted.
I was just testing you, making sure you guys staying alert. Um, so yeah, I'm David Anthony Taylor. I've found multiple of my enslaved ancestors. Um, like they were saying, DNA helps a lot with that because even with the white relatives that I have, when you find a lot of white relatives on your DNA, when you're looking at an ancestry and you see these white family members, well, when they go on their ancestry page in their DNA, they see you too. So it's not like it's just on one side. I've reached out to a lot of them, and some people they refuse to reach out to white family members. I'm one to say I do because they are just as interested as you are.
Mhm.
And then one thing I have found is a lot of the white family members, they look to me for a lot of information because for people of color, we actually have to do the research. They don't. They can say Abraham Lincoln is one of my relatives and people just accept it. We can't say that. We actually have to prove it. And just an example, a white family member asked me to join a Facebook group. And so I come in, and I don't hold back any punches. I'm like, hey, I'm the only black person there, of course. And I was like, do you guys have any slave manuscripts? Do you have any probate records, wills, journals, and everything? And they said, well, we get all of our information. Um, this is some WikiTree accounts that we have. They gave me the WikiTree account information. And I'm like, these are my WikiTree accounts. They get all their information from me. And so they were like, this is where, and then when I was like, oh, that's me. Those are my pages. That's where I've created that information. And so at that time, there was like, no one does any more profiles on WikiTree without going through David first, because they were just taking the family information and passing it down, and it wasn't all correct. Because see, what I had to do was I was getting the documentation saying, you're saying this person was born in Virginia, but actuality during that time, his family was in North Carolina. And these are the documents to verify it. They said this person was married to this person. No, they did not marry that person. This is who they married. This is their family. This is the marriage record. So I actually showed the documentation. So yes, I found a lot of my family members. I started my grandkids are here with me. So if you hear a lot of noise, that's what Jocelyn, turn that down some. Yeah, close the door. So I've started a website called Black Pearls of Genealogy. And with that website, for people of color, we have to go to multiple resources to find information on our ancestors, or, just doing typical research in general. And so what I've done was took all the information that I think we need, and I'm still adding to it all the time. And I just put it on the website. So if you're looking for probate records, if you're looking for information in the Freedmen's Bureau, Chancery records, I mean, uh, census records, how to find some of your Native American ancestors, the Dawes Rolls, it goes on. It's a lot of information on the website. And also I install memorials for people of color, and that's basically anyone other than white. So I've just installed a memorial in California for a Chinese cemetery. And this is, I think, last month. They were unveiled last month. And one in Kingstree, South Carolina, for it was 435 people that were formerly enslaved. They wanted to start a new life, and people in Texas, in Marlin, Texas, saying, "Hey, slavery's over. We don't have nobody to work for us anymore." So they went with the Freedmen's Bureau, and they contracted 435 individuals, and that's women, men, women, and children. And so they basically left from Charleston, South Carolina. They left from Kingstree, South Carolina, went to Galveston, Texas, and then they took a train to Marlin, Texas. So I put a memorial there for that, listing all 435 people's names. And you know, I'm no smarter or no slower than anybody else. Anything I do is everybody else can do. It's nothing special about what I do. But I don't think that I think that it's really important to find your family history, but you also need to, when you're doing your DNA and the paper trail kind of goes together. You kind of got to have them both. Some people say, well, I strictly deal with DNA, but sometimes you can say, well, I see I'm related to this white family member, but you may be related through his brother, through his sister, I mean, or an uncle or an aunt, you don't know. And then one thing that I do want to tell you that this is kind of important. I mean, there's so many things I can say that's important, but for when we're doing our research, and I actually found myself doing this starting off early, is when we're doing research for surnames. If you're doing research and let's say your line is named Fitzpatrick, right? And you're looking for all these Fitzpatricks, but that's because we're looking at the men surnames. Every men that we have, they have a wife. That wife has a surname. It could be Smith, and your DNA connection to me could be through the mother side, not necessarily through the Fitzpatrick side. So when you're doing research, you got to make sure you're looking on both the male and the female side, because even our ancestors that could have been enslaved, they may not have all come from the male side of the family. They could have been willed to their new owner from the owners through his daughter. She's could have been the one that brought them into the marriage. So it's just I can just go on and on, but I'm just here to that was my little short introduction because I'll keep running and running my mouth and he's like, man, he's gonna shut up.
Does anybody have any
That's
questions for David?
that's my cousin David breaking it down.
Yeah. Oh, and on that, David, he told us about some of his research techniques. We're going to have some presentations during the meeting. At this time, David, could you please give us an overview of your Black Pearls of Genealogy? Because it's very important that we see that, because it's a tool that we need to have. But all the work that you've done, I want to always highlight that, and at any platform I'm on, I just want you to be able to share that with us, because we have a few people on this meeting, but my Mars Genealogy Research Group goes out to a number of people. And so, David, would you please give us a brief presentation on
Here we go.
Black Pearls of Generation? Go ahead, David.
Yeah. And he was modest when he shared about this.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so and now there's another thing, so some of the imagery in here, when I start doing this page, and this is my first website. I don't, I'm faking it as I make it right now. But when I started doing this website, there was no Black imagery out there for us. When I look for slavery, there it's got people, silhouettes of people in chains. They took it to the next level. It's like, well, no, I don't think my ancestors look like that. They weren't all that bad. So what I had to do was just to create all my own imagery. I taught myself how to do AI. So there's probably about 5% of the images in the website that are maybe from the Library of Congress, but everything else is just images that I created. So once you're here, and the site is the bpoc.org, which I put in the chat. Once you enter the page, I'm going to give it a second because we did have a big storm here right now. So once you enter the page, we basically, I go over what the BPOC is, and that stands for the Black Pearls of Genealogy. These are the different types of memorials that I just did here. This is one of the monuments that I have, but since this is the first time I used the book memorial that I created, I didn't like the way it looked at the end, so I raised this up 2 feet because I was looking at her doing this. I was like, wait a minute, if there's an elderly person looking at this memorial and their family members down low, even myself, I'm like, I might bend down and can't get back up. So, so I raised the whole memorial up 2 feet. So these are just some of the different memorials that I've done. This is the last two that I've completed was the Chinese cemetery. This is the memorial for the Chinese cemetery. And I just basically talk about their history. It's a really small cemetery. It was only 100 and I think like 100 feet by 100 feet or something like that. It's real small. So I basically created the web page for them, talking about their history. This is what's actually on the memorial here. Oh, it's 140 by 160 feet. Because in the 1800s, it was against the law for them to bury their family members in cemeteries here. So they weren't allowed to. And so they were able to come together and get this little plot of land, and that's where they start burying their family members. So then I've just got different pictures. I've got all their names on here, list all their names, just basically more information about them. And the same thing with the Marlin. But these, if you get a time to check these out, you can just go through these here. These are just my two last projects which I'm working on now, and I'll just show you these. This is really quick. So this is Marlin, Texas. So what happened was when I did the Kingstree Memorial of when they left South Carolina, then I said, wait a minute. They actually ended up in Fall County in Texas. So I need to put a memorial there. They have a sister memorial because it was 435 people. So, and then I found out that I'm actually related to some of these families later, just after memorial was up. So I got a GoFundMe page. People can donate. This is the sister unit. This is the one that I put up in Kingstree. So this is like basically gives the history. These are all the names of the people 435 people's names that are on the memorial. Then I basically talk about the journey that they had, or basically about the journey itself. Then I start giving a timeline. This is one of the persons that came from Marlin looking for people that were formerly enslaved to work there in Texas. People say, hey, they give them the spill, hey, you know what, you can start a new life. You don't have to be in South Carolina anymore. Come to Texas, start fresh, So that's what people did. And I just basically go through how they recruit, how they organize the recruitment, how they actually decided to relocate. This is the actual document from the Freedmen's Bureau.
We used to roll out gutters, put them on these how it was aluminum, but it
I think
didn't
somebody
require,
may have to mute themselves.
didn't even have to be painted. That's what people like. Unlike a wooden cutter, it requires a lot of
Someone has
maintenance.
to be muted.
You gotta be.
Okay.
I got her.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the actual documentation here from this is the actual document from the Freedmen's Bureau. So it goes and it talks about, the transportation request. And then this is the list of all the names here of all the people, the 435 individuals. Like I said, there's men, women, and children. So I got that whole list of there. I give credit, everything I work with, anybody does anything for me, I'm giving credit. So these two people, Sharon Stiles and Angela Shaw, they were actually their ancestors were actually people that are on these memorials. And so through them, I found out I was related to them. I'm related through my mother's my maternal grandmother, my maternal grandfather's side. Any way I looked at it, I was related. So it's like, okay, great information. So then I talked about the beginning of the journey. These were actually passengers that were on that memorial. They were formerly slaves. So I just basically give some information about them there. This is the same person, Anthony Shaw. This picture is from his from his pension record as a USCT, and you hardly ever find pictures of slaves in pension records, but we got that there. This is one of his second wives. This is a picture of this is Susan Tinsdale. And these were all people that were slaves. So even just finding pictures of family members like that is remarkable for me. Then I list all their children and just more information here. This is one of the trains they took from from Galveston down to Marlin, Texas. I got newspaper articles where two people froze to death. This is just transcription of it. Just talk more about these are actual newspaper articles, and if you click on them, I've got it so that they enlarge. You can read some of the stuff there, and just different information how you can get in touch with them here. I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to show you the research portion. So the second project that we're doing now. Have you guys ever heard of Mount Bayou before? I had never heard of it. And I was talking to one of my white family members, and she does research, or she does works on the cemeteries in Mount Bayou. in the surrounding areas. So she was telling me about it. Oh, you need to talk to these two brothers. They own the museum there, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll talk to them. And we got a little friendship going and decided, hey, we'll do I'll do a presentation. I mean, I'll put a memorial there, but I'm gonna stop sharing and then start sharing again because I wanted you guys to hear the audio. I'm just gonna show you a quick little video. It's probably like 3 minutes, but I want to make sure that you can hear the audio on here because I didn't click share audio. All right. So once again, you can always donate to each one of these programs you want through GoFundMe. So this is basically a little about Mount Bayou here.
We had a pride that a lot of people did not have. We had a pride of owning our own.
Let me make this so I can put it right on YouTube.
With Chewy, get their mealtime match delivered fast. Max loves kibble. Milo loves
owning our own and being a part of our own and running whatever we had.
There's so much that the Black church has done for Black people's advancement that is still not being told. From the Underground Railroad to the Civil Rights struggle, all that time the church has been involved in the safe haven to get us to where we are.
And Mount Bayou was that haven. It was that place where people couldn't just come in and take over. They knew better. Whites had planned to come to Mount Bayou to see if they could do one of those takeovers. But the people in Mount Bayou heard about it. So there was plans in Mount Bayou too.
When the horses came in, the lights are off in the city. You turn the lights on and had the Gildon going over in one of those houses and people on top of houses all around. They turned the lights off and started shooting.
Boy, you could hear da-da-da-da. And then another few shots and another shots, and just about not long, they tucked tail and ran out, and you never had that threat again.
Black people at least knew in Mississippi, if you were ever in trouble anywhere else, that if you made it to Mount Bayou, you could make it to safety. We had sort of like an underground railroad. There are many stories about people who came from different places in Mississippi and got here, and they got on the train and went somewhere else just to get safe from whatever was going on. So that being known, when that trial happened and the Emmett Till case happened, of course his mother came down. She wanted to come to the trial. So not only did Mamie Till stay here, but the Black press and the Black public officials all stayed in Mount Bayou because in the Mississippi Delta, there was nowhere else where a Black person at that time could have safe accommodations.
And that's what Mamie Till came under. She came under like an invisible shield of protection that she knew and could be comfortable, that she can go to sleep at night in Mount Bayou, Mississippi, and know that she was very well protected.
There was a caravan of armed guards taking her to and from the courthouse. They would lay her down in the back seat, put a cover over her, and take her back and forth because they had snipers out ready for them going back and forth to the courthouse.
She would later on talk about how Mount Bayou was that haven. She changed her life to be able to come the rest of her life and to just talk about the rights of African Americans.
So let me stop this here. All right, so that's just a short information, but then I actually started talking about how it actually all started from Benjamin Montgomery. He was actually another thing. So in the video, the older gentleman there, he actually founded the Mount Bayou, the museum. That was Herman Johnson Sr. The other two gentlemen in there were his children. Those were his sons, Daryl and Herman Jr. So yeah, through this, you can just basically go through and I just give a whole history about Mount Bayou, how it came from, how it came about. And so if you have time, you can just kind of go through it and it gives you basically the information on all of these things here. So talk about stuff there. So now let me just get to the actual to the research portion of it. but those are just some of the projects I'm working on. I didn't go through all of them, but that's just some. So once you get on here, I have documenting slavery. I try to put videos in a lot of stuff that I do. This is just a video of some parts of the documenting slavery. But here, if you're looking in Adams County, Mississippi, these are slave certificates. So basically, I'll go through. You can talk about if you look, especially if you're Mississippi and you're looking for slave certificate. I thought I had a video here. I don't. Some of these videos that these pages here, they're covered in like the main video that I didn't show because it's probably like 7 or 8 minutes. So just give you a quick overview of this here. Talk about what these slave certificates are, examples of the documentation, where Adams County is on the map. I guess I'm gonna have to redo that. And just basically give you a quick overview of what it is and what you're looking for in these different documentations. So I talk about that. I go to Chancery records. Like I said, I have little videos talking about them here. And it's just an example video.
Chancery records are a powerful yet often overlooked resource in African American genealogy. These court documents, which primarily dealt with property disputes and estate settlements, often listed enslaved people as assets rather than individuals. But within these records lie crucial details about their identities, family relationships, and movements, offering a window into the past. How Chancery records relate to slavery. Chancery records are significant because they show how enslaved individuals were treated in legal disputes. These records tell us who enslaved people lived with, where they were forced to move, and sometimes even how they resisted enslavement through the courts. Information typically found in Chancery records.
I just wanted to give you a quick video, a quick thing of the video here. Let me stop that. Let me escape here.
David?
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Thank you for that overview. Would you show us a brief a demonstration on how you use AI to create these pictures? You know how you've shown us before, and you verbally said, I want someone that looks certain years old, and you know how you did some modifications. Could you give us a demo on that?
Well, I could, but that would be something where we would actually take up that would be a whole like presentation we would do.
Okay.
So I just to give everybody just a quick understanding what's on here. So this is going to just tell you about the Chancery records. So it tells you what they're about, the different type of Chancery records there are. You know, and then when you want to find them, if you're looking at them for Alabama, you can click here. I mean, these are a list of all the records that you want to find. Just come here and you click on them. And it's going to take you directly to the record. So if you're clicking on here, it takes you directly to the record, to the set of records. You can come and go look at them yourself. So,
well, the bottom line, everyone, you know, we go to Ancestry, we go to these different platforms, and look at them to conduct our research. Well, this brother here, he has taken the time to have his own. He put together a lot of our information under Black Pearls of Genealogy. And we can, once you get in this platform, you can find all those records. Look at them.
Well, this is like I said, okay, so like the one thing that people have problems with is like if they're looking for Freedmen's Bureau records, it could be overwhelming sometimes for people. So what I've done, there's just so much stuff here, you know, there's a lot of information here. But let's say if you're looking for a Freedmen's Bureau record, there's information for the Freedmen's Bank. If you say, what is a Freedmen's Bureau? I've got information here that's gonna, you know, once again, another video there. It explains to the purpose of the Freedmen's Bureau. These are different sources that you can use to find the Freedmen's Bureau on. But I use paid sites and I use free sites because some people will say, well, I'm familiar with ancestry.com. And someone else said, well, I may be familiar with Family Search, and I don't know what anyone financial's information is. So I put it up wherever I can find the record, I'm putting it up there. So this is just different places you're going to be able to find the records. I talk about the different levels of the Freedmen's Bureau. There's going to be your headquarters level, your state, your superintendent of education, and then you're going to have your local, your field office records where you're going to find a lot of information at. And then I just tell you about the type of records that you're going to be able to find in the Freedmen's Bureau. So what that is, after you read all that, because like I said, it'll take a while. And if you're going, now they're divided up into different files from M1900 to M1913. So let's say someone give me an example of a state that they would want to research someone. Anyone, just give me a state.
Mississippi.
Okay. So I would come to Mississippi and I'm like, okay, nope, Mississippi is going to be M1907. And that's how a lot of people that's genealogy, they don't say, where's your Freedmen's Bureau for Mississippi? They say, oh, just go to M1907. And if you're from Mississippi, like, that's my place there. So this is how easy I make it to find your records. You click on Mississippi. This is going to be the descriptive pamphlet. The descriptive pamphlet is going to tell you everything about all the records in here. Let me go down a little further. So it's going to say this let me go down a little further. Okay, it talks about here. This is records received. It'll tell you what it's about, what volumes they're in. Let me see if they got special orders, the circulars issued. It just tells you everything that you're going to find in all these records. And it also gives you locations like here. This is in Greenville. In Greenville, this is going to be in roll 17, all of your information here. Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to use this platform. So this is just a descriptive pamphlet. It's going to tell you about the records. So now, if you want to look for claim records, you come here, click on claim records. These are the records that you're going to find for claim records for Mississippi. And same for hospitalization, labor contracts, and let's say if you're looking for a record of complaints, right? And I'm just gonna pick Greenville because it's just right there. Now, when you click on that, I gotta sign in. Oh man, I'm not using the browser I usually use, so that's why it's different. So now this is there's 5 images this is image 5 out of 1,077. This isn't page 5, it's image 5. And so when you're looking at this is for complaints. And they also have part of their descriptive pamphlet here as well. So I'm just going to go down and just click on something here. Hopefully something that I can read. So this is a complaint here. Report. Okay, this is the Office of Sub-Assistance Commission offers by, I'm not sure who it's by. I think it's, I'm not even going to try to figure it out. Respectfully return and attention invited to, no, this isn't the actual complaint here. These are just replying to, I'm going to find another record. So basically, let's say for the Freedmen's Bureau, this is actually after emancipation, after 1865. So once people were free slaves and they're like, we're free now, but what do we do? The Freedmen's Bureau was ran by the military, and people would say, like I said, I got 100 acres of land. Now I don't have anyone to work for me. So people would say, well, now the former slaves may work for the same person that used to own them. And some of them would still treat them as if they were their slaves. And they would abuse them. They would beat them. Some people would take their children and not give them back because they're like, and so in doing so, people would say, hey, they would go to the Freedmen's Bureau and say, hey, this person that used to be my slave owner, or it may not have been a slave owner, it could have been a neighbor or just another white person, said, we're working for them. They promise to give us shelter, they promise to give us food, water, or whatever, but they're not holding up to it, and they won't give me they took my kids and said they won't give them back. Then the Freedmen Bureau will step in and say, you got to get these people their kids back. Or basically, if there's a complaint, they're going to do it. White person could be beating someone with a whip. They could be shooting people. They can kill people. They still felt as though they had white privilege. So you're going to be able to find all of them. Now, the reason why I'm going to show you what I did here is the reason why I have these by the film numbers here is when you're on family search, this is what you actually see right here. You got this is all the numbers here, right? These are all the film numbers. So we're in Mississippi. This could be Mississippi. This could be Mississippi. This could be Mississippi. So what I did was I had to go through all of the records and I put them in order by state. So now all the records here, I had to go, and they're not all in concurrent. They're not always in order either. And so, like this one's 87, this one's 103. Sometimes they're right under each other, sometimes they're not. So whenever you're looking for something, and all you have to do, if you're looking for, let's say, a contract, a legal contract, right? And you say, well, I'm looking for my family member in this location, and you find that record. I'm just going to pull up a record to show you how easy it would be to keep up with it. I'll go here. So this is a legal, a contract for, let me close this too. A labor contract where they're basically saying, hey, this person agrees to work for me for $1 a year, $2 or whatever, gives you all the information, the person hiring, everything else. But if you say, how do you want to remember how to get to that, you remember you can just go to Mississippi, go to whatever area you were looking for, and you're just going to say, I remember I'm looking for image 5. I mean, this is the image 535. That's the image you got to remember out of the 1191. But this could be, like, if you're looking at the document itself, this could say page 5. It could be page 12. But you're not looking for the page because when they scan them, they put it in order by they track them by the image number itself. So if you get a document, say, oh, it's going to be on page 5, and you go to page 5 here, then you may get something that's like, this don't have nothing to do with the person I'm looking for, because it's just a page. So that's stuff for the Freedmen's Bureau. I'm really going over this really fast. You've got
David.
Yes.
Can you go back to Freedmen's Bureau, go down to mapping?
Go to where?
To mapping at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I totally missed that. So let me go back to Mississippi.
No. Stay in Freedmen's Bureau, but go all the way down to the bottom tab, mapping Freedmen's Bureau, because this is something that you showed on Freedom Friday. I thought was very interesting.
Okay, well, first off,
that would be go
I'm
do what you want to do,
but this is what I did for me, because I'm a little more visual person.
Mm-hmm.
When you stroll down further, of course, I got all the information here, related records here. But what I do is I put my own map on there that says doing maps, the view maps here. So I got surrounding counties, just different things here, right? But what I did was I list where the Freedmen's Bureau. Hey! Oh, go in another room with that and keep your hands off of these. Don't put your hands on each other. So what I did was, these are the locations to where all the field offices are. So if you're, and the thing is like, I haven't found any of my own family member in the Freedmen's Bureau. And some of the reasons why is, let's say you have a family member in Sunflower, they may not have had transportation to go to a nearby county. Or if they're, let's see, if they're here, let me see, if they're in Lawton, right? A person may say, well, I'm not really familiar with these people, or I don't like them, and they can go to the next state over, and they could go to a Freedmen's Bureau record here. And so some people may not have had the transportation. They may not even know about these locations. In another state, let me show you why I say these are so important when you're looking at these here, because I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you the mapping the Freedmen's Bureau, like you're saying, and why I set mine up a little different. I'm going to go to Texas, I think. Let me try Texas. I think that's where I live. So if you're looking at Texas, same little setup here. And everybody's not going to have all the same records. So if you're looking for like court records, you might find it here, but you might not find it in Mississippi. You might not find it in Arkansas. So if you're looking here, and let's go down to the map here. So now this is Texas, right? What if your family was in Jack County? They probably wouldn't go find a way to get over here to the Freedmen's Bureau. You know, it's like, well, I don't have any record of, well, they're way over here. How are they gonna get over there? They don't have the transportation. They have to travel themselves to make a complaint, and then food. They have to make sure they got shelter and everything, and to travel there. Then they got to turn around and come back. So there may not be any records of them there, or like I said, they could be if they're on a border state. They don't necessarily have to go to, like, let's say here, this person's in Newton. They may say, well, the closest office is in Jefferson, but there's also there's a field office here in the next state over. So they may go, some of your records, if you're on a border state, that field office could be in the next state over. So you can't look like, well, all my people are in Mississippi, but your records might not be in Mississippi. They could be, depending on where they're located, where your family's located at. Now, what Wayne was asking about was the Freedmen. I'm actually doing mapping right now. I'm just putting a page together for mapping. So I'm going to remove it from here, and it's going to be under maps. So I'm actually doing that now. And so when you come here under maps, I think, oh yeah, so I've got the Freedmen's Bureau. I've got it right here, mapping the Freedmen's Bureau. Okay. This is a little different the way I like to do it, because I'm going to show you why for me. So once you come here, mapping the Freedmen's Bureau, you can go and view the map. And say, let's view the map. And this is what you see here. Comes up, this is what you see. You have to increase the size, and then you got to say, okay, now I got to find where the state is at. So, and I'm not really too good about that. I'm like, am I in Mississippi? Am I in Arkansas? Where am I at? So for me, doing it this way is a little harder, but let me see if I can, yeah, so it's a little harder for me doing it this way. So if you know your states, it's like, okay, let me find Arkansas. If anybody, okay, there's Montgomery. Georgia, let me go. Let's see if I can find anything. Okay, there's Little Rock right there.
Yeah.
So this is saying this is a Little Rock a contraband camp. Whoops. So see, for me, like I said, it's a little harder for me to navigate through it this way. You're gonna find some of the same records, or if I click on this record here, then it'll say, oh, it's in M1901, road 22, right? So is it easier trying to find it on that map, or if you go to the Freedmen's Bureau, M1901, which is Arkansas, and I'm looking for, these are the rows here. Oh, this is another thing I wanted to show you. You can always click here where it says Arkansas Freedmen's Bureau records. Once you click there, it's going to take you right to all the records that you may not see there. So if you're looking for someone in Hamburg, which I don't know anything about that, it gives you all, it tells you the rows. Cut the TV off. So it'll give you all the rows as well this way. So this makes it, for me, like I said, I try to make things as easy as possible. So for me, listing all the topics here, and give you still the roll numbers here. But once again, you can also click here and it'll take you to where all of the different records are as well. And then to find the mapping itself, it's easier for me to just look here and go, oh, I want to go to Conway. That's a map. I mean, this is just saying this is a where a field office is. And another reason why I think this is important is because me and Dwayne may say, yeah, we know we're family, we know we're DNA related, but we just don't know how. But we know both of our families from Arkansas. And I said, well, I know my family's from Hempstead, Arkansas.
Mine is too.
So, so no, wait till I get off the Zoom. Both of y'all, you're not starving. You just ate. But let's just say, so we know we're both of our families from Arkansas. But if he said, well, my family was from Pike County. And I said, well, when was your family there? And he said, well, my family was this time. And I said, well, my family was there around the same time period. So we know we can say, okay, now one of our family, a family member somehow either relocated or whatever, but we know our family connection could be in this area. But if they say they were in Whites County, it's like, well, how did that happen? How did we get from Hempstead to Whites County? We just do more paperwork, but if they were there at the same time, then we can still try to trace the migration pattern. And for me, not even just the field offices themselves, but being able to look at the county map. And this is a good example here of what I was saying. Like if you have a family that's in that could be in Clay County, they could have records in Arkansas, they could have records in Missouri, or they could have records in Arkansas. So you have to, because it's a border state. So depending, if your family was from right here and they say, hey, if I'm in Arkansas, I got to travel, a long distance to Fulton to find my family, to get to the Freedmen's Bureau, or I can go 5 miles over here in Arkansas. I mean, I can go 5 miles in Missouri, or it might even be closer in Tennessee, depending on where they're at, and find those records. Yes.
Let's get ready to wrap it up.
Say that.
Let's wrap it up at your convenience.
Okay. All right. So basically, you can go to this website, and if there's anything that you're looking for people of color, it's on there. If it's not on there, just contact me. Say, oh, we need to add some information on whatever. And if you want to work with me, if you feel you have a strong, if you're really strong in one area, like if Jerry say, hey, I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but one thing I do know about is probate records. Then Jerry can contact me and say, let's work on something with probates, and we'll do it. And I'm sorry to take up so much time because this wasn't, but.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for him? Comments on his presentation?
I have one question. This is Pat. Do you have, for somebody that's new, that don't know what they're doing to genealogy, do you have like a step-by-step? Okay.
I sure do. If you go to the, we're partnering with a Family Search. So if you go to the tools, there's a beginner's guide there, and it'll take you step by step through all of that as well.
Okay.
And so I have one with Family Search, but I'm going to make another one as well for, so some people may not like Family Search for whatever reason. So we'll have two.
Okay. Thank you.
One thing that we do on this platform is we assign mentors to help you through the journey. If you're interested in having a mentor with your research, that's one thing that we do on this platform.
I wanted to say I have heard of Mount Bayou. My maternal side is from Mississippi, and I have heard of Sunflower County. They were from Sunflower County.
It's so much history out there that we don't know about, and that's why I do like a lot of these memorials. So I'm not going to be putting up a Martin Luther King memorial. It could be somebody from 1950 that helped start it with anything, as long as they're Black and we feel like they've been when I say Black, I do say people of color because I'm trying to include other people, but my main focus is on Black people. I'm including other people for a number of reasons, like, well, they could help get a grant later. So I got Chinese memorial. Now I'm going to do the Hispanic, and I'm like, I've covered them. I might do one. That might be it, but I got it. But our main focus is on Black people. So that's what I want to memorialize.
Now,
No, thank you so much for, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Thank you so much for all this work. I think doing the reparations work, we have delved and researched so much, but this type of work where you can drill down to just the smallest point is the work that needs to be done regarding genealogy and what our justice claim is. So thank you for that.
Oh, no problem. And then there's also a section for your Native American ancestors, how to find them, where to find the documentation. I give you step by step how to do a lot of this stuff. So, I try to make it as simple as possible.
And I thank you, David. And I also recommend that you donate to his webpage because he uses donations for these memorials and his work, just to give him some support. On the webpage, it has a section for donations, and if you do have some, it takes money to do what we do. I just be frank with you, and we have some tools that some of you don't have, but we're sharing them with you. So it's important that when you have genealogists who are helping each other on a level that David is, and he has a format to donate, please consider that in your, when you have an opportunity.
Also, I want to thank Jerry for stepping up and also donating the DNA kit, Dana, because people just don't do that. That's not something that random like, oh, you need DNA kit, I'm gonna send you one. Everybody don't do this. So this is don't think that everybody does. This is not normal. He's a special kind of guy to do that, and there's no strings attached or anything. So that's showing you the kind of person that he is himself. It's more, sometimes people think we're doing this expecting something in return. But even with me, with these memorials, those are going to be here way after I'm gone. And if I can leave, even if everybody in the group say, hey, well, what about memorial in this? We had a slave cemetery over here where I was from, where I've heard about this. Well, my grandfather was the first mayor, first black mayor in this. Okay, one of my cousins invented the shoelaces for tennis shoes. Let's get him too, So Jerry, I want to just say thank you also for stepping up and doing that.
Thank you. And his Black Pearls to Genealogy, he left a link in the chat. So please get that link from the chat. And so we're going to go into some of the agenda, but we're going to take a break. So, so you can exhale for a minute, so 5 minutes or so, and we'll be back. I'll be back. And then we'll go into the agenda. So let's take us a break. Okay. And if anybody wants to continue, continue. You have to continue the conversation. I'll be back in about 5.
Yeah. And just for anybody that's new or don't know me, doing this website, it's like there's no way that I could cover everything. I can't cover everything. It's a lot. So when I make these little videos, if you look at them, it'll also explain, like, does everybody know about homesteading? Everybody? I'll show you a real quick video why we got time now because he's gone. So
I'm going to have to go.
Okay.
But I just want to make a comment before I leave. Yes, because part of your website has been updated much more since I first saw it, and I really appreciate everything that you've done. But I'll say to everybody else, this is why we log on to sites like this. David was doing a presentation for our group, and he was just going through, and then he said, he mentioned Arkansas, and then he mentioned Hempstead. I said, wait a minute, Hempstead is not, you know, and I have a lot of Stewart family from Hempstead. And so I said, David, we gotta talk later. But you don't know who you're gonna run into on some of these sites, and it's important to reach out because we've learned a lot. And I'm still working. And also that Newton family I was telling you about, they were in Arkansas too. So
Wow.
anyway, I gotta go. See you guys later.
All right.
Hold it for a minute before you go. My family history is from Hempstead County too.
Oh yeah.
Ozanne, Hempstead.
Yeah.
It's all part of that. It's all part of that area.
So the Stewards is a big family down there.
Well, do you have a Jed Match kit number yet?
Oh yes.
Okay, so that's what I would like to have, your Jed Match
So
kit.
David has the Jed Match. David, you can share one because I gotta go.
Okay, go ahead.
He has that information.
I got like 2,700 people.
I know, but you had that. You did the one for us. You did a Jed Match. I forget what you called. I'll get it, but I gotta run. I gotta get out of here because I just
go ahead.
Time.
Thank you.
All right, I'll get it to you. I'll send it to you, Dave, on the your email.
Okay.
All right.
I mean Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Okay.
All right,
We know
Dwayne.
you were talking to.
All right, Dwayne.
See you later.
All right.
So,
David,
yes.
you have 2,700 people in it now? When I joined, it was
Yeah.
like 1,500, 1,700.
Yeah, it might be more because I haven't checked.
Oh, man.
So it might be more people than that. But
It's
those are our
growing.
family members, and that's white, black,
Right.
with mixed colors. We've got family members that are from Germany, Australia, Canada.
Right.
They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's just like we got to find a connection. But let me share with you this really quick about the homesteading. And this is why I think, I could have picked any video, but I just picked homestead. It was just, in front of my face. So that's Arkansas. So if I go down to homesteading, sometimes when we talk about this stuff, people, they'll talk about it, but you still don't understand it. So this is just a quick video. Oh, I better stop sharing to make sure I got the sound on here again. Okay, it's good. So this is just a quick little video. It's really short. It's only 2 minutes. But it'll kind of explain to you what homesteading is.
The 1862 Homestead Act provided individuals with opportunities to acquire land. Other homesteading acts that applied to areas not covered by the original law. We'll discuss homestead records and the groups impacted by the act, particularly regarding land distribution. The Homestead Act, signed in 1862, allowed Americans to claim up to 160 acres for just $10. However, applicants had to meet strict requirements, including being the head of a household or at least 21 years old and cultivating the land for 5 years. Though it offered a path to financial independence, it was less accessible to formerly enslaved African Americans who often lacked the capital to sustain a farm. While land itself was inexpensive, cost for travel, registration, and supplies ranged from $600 to $1,000. Some former slaves also faced fraud and land speculation. Other homesteading acts included the Desert Land Act, 1877, the Timber Culture Act, 1873, and state-specific programs like the Alaska Homestead Act, 1898, and the Texas Homestead Act, 1845. Homestead records are found in archives such as Ancestry.com, Family Search, and the Bureau of Land Management. The Southern Homestead Act of 1866 aimed to help freedmen, but local officials often obstructed black homesteaders. Many lost land through legal loopholes, unfair tax policies, and debt traps, while white supremacist groups used violence to drive black families off their land. The Homestead Act impacted various groups, including poor white settlers, women, former slaveholders, Native Americans, and immigrants. While the act remained in effect for 124 years, distributing 270 million acres. Black Americans in the South faced significant barriers in accessing its benefits.
So some of your ancestors, you can find some of these records on some of your ancestors because they could have gotten land for they could have had property if they were maintaining, they had to stay on that land for 5 years. And they had to after 5 years, they had to like have a shelter, they had to build a shelter there, they had to raise their own food and everything. But if they could do that for 5 years, that land where there was 80 acres or whatever, it belonged to them now. So that was like, now that could be part of your family. And you can actually find these documents on here as well. And Pat was asking about like a beginner's guide or something like that. So I'll keep sharing. And I'm sorry, you guys, because this is definitely not even my Zoom meeting. So if you go to tools and you go down to family search, and then there's a beginner's guide here. And it's basically, once again, there's another video, but this will tell you step-by-step things that you know how to actually get started. So got to each step-by-step what to do. And because I'm doing this with family search, they've got even special tools here that you can click on, and it'll take you to family search where they give you additional tools and tips on how to do stuff. But their stuff is not going to show as many Black people as what I have on my site. So it'll give you step-by-step on saying things that use different tools. And for anyone that uses family search to do research, another tool to use is this tool right here. It says find your ancestor, your African American ancestor. So what happens is if when you use this link, this is what's different about this part of family search, and a lot of people don't really know about this, is it only search for Black people. So now I have a grandfather that has a unique name. His name is Kill Burns. So I'm type his name in. I know he was in Arkansas. So I'm just going to put that in and just click search. Make sure I'm signed in first. Okay. So now that I'm signed in, there's no, if I've typed in John Smith and he was in Arkansas, it would only show Black John Smiths. Like here, right? It shows out of all these records, there's 20 that's listed as Black, 10 that's listed, 13 as Negro. This is B for Black as well, 2 mulattoes and 1 colored. So these are all Kill Burns, and this is all my family because he's the only one I know named Kill Burns, him and his son. So these are like, his name is Kill Burns, but we called him Uncle Sonny Boy. But the point I'm making is when you use this part of the family search, it's only going to research Black people. So if you have you say, well, my grandparents or my great-grandparents, they had a unique name, Nancy Jordan Jamerson. Once you put that in there, it's only going to search for Black Nancy Jamersons. So that's something that you can use as well. Just that there. If you're looking for WikiTree, if anyone ever does WikiTree, putting together things for WikiTree so you can set up a profile. Step by step, there's the videos here to talk about it. How to create a profile, edit a profile. It really is a lot that you can go over in here. We've got newspapers, vital records, maps, cemeteries, genealogy labels, USCTs, compensation and emancipation records, pension records, military pensions, pension index cards. Like for the military pensions, on all the top of these, I use a Black person from each different war, from the Revolutionary War up till the current war. So every time you look at a page on the military pension records, it's going to be a different soldier from a different war time period. So I just kind of did that there. And also, if you're looking for records, like some people say wasn't Black people in the Confederate Army. Well, there was Black people applying for pensions that were in the Confederate. An example is, let's say if I come down here, this is Confederate pension records here. If I go to, I think it's Family Search. It's going to be some other ones too, but I think I found this here. Okay, right here. Tennessee Confederate pension applications for colored troops, soldiers, and widows from 1891 to 1865. These are for Confederates. So if I type on Black troops, and like I said, the thing about this is it takes you right to the records. I'm just going to go to something quick and just stop somewhere and just see what something says. What is this here? Whoops. State of Tennessee, colored man's application for pension records. Now, the thing about this is they can tell you the name of the slave owners. It can tell you who owned them, what property they were on. It's a lot of information in here on each one of these. So the reason why you won't find these in the United States pension records is because Confederate soldiers, they were all of their records are kept at the state level. So people are saying they're never going to find any Black Confederate records in the regular military pension records in the United States because of the Union or militias, because this wasn't part of the United States. So each state that's a Confederate state, they have their own records. But they'll actually ask questions here. Blah, blah, blah. I'm finding a good question or something. I'm not gonna take up too much time, but I just wanted to let you know that these records are here. So I'll stop sharing. Oh, let me go back. Let me get out of here. And we got Native American rolls, more stuff for application jackets, land allotments, enrollment cards. Of course, all the Freedmen's Bureau there, murders and outrage, circulars. These records are before the Freedmen's Bureau. These are prior to 1865, before the war started, before the Freedmen's Bureau started. So it could be people, but these were only in 3 states. There was Louisiana, there's Louisiana, Fort Monroe, Virginia, and Mississippi. So these are records that you're going to be able to find before the war, before they actually started the Freedmen's Bureau. So it could be marriage records of people that were slaves, free people of color. Of course, then we got the M2029 records, which are going to be for USCTs, different parts of there. I'm trying just before we get started. Of course, like I said, you got the U.S. Census records, Southern Claim Commission, Register of Free Negroes, claim records for free Blacks, probate records, Louisiana notary, the Jesuit enslavement, insurance policies for people that were enslaved, because people took out insurance policy for people that were slaves. It's just a lot on here, but he's going to be starting the meeting back again. I think I took up my 5 minutes. So I'm sorry, like I said, do this so fast, but you can spend a whole hour just on one topic. Is there anything that anybody want to know, or I don't know, got any suggestions for something for me to do or add on to it?
Well, David, I want to say thank you very much for the information that you've shared. I logged in a little bit late, but from what I've seen, it's amazing. And yes, it does look like there's a lot of information to be able to obtain.
Yeah. And even if you go to something and say, I tried on your site, but this wasn't really making sense. I didn't understand this. I couldn't get that. And I was like, okay, let's change it then. I don't have a problem doing that. If you say, can you make it a little easier, or can you do a step by step for me, then I actually do that. Where I actually, in a lot of stuff that's on here, I'm gonna show you this and then I'm not gonna share it no more, I promise. So like for the USCTs, I'm just gonna kind of go down and show you here. These are just different records. But like here, I make little things like this. I'm like, if you're on fold 3, you basically go to fold3.com, type in colored troops. Then you select the browse, select browse here. You type in US, you type in colored troops here, and it's going to bring up all your units. And that's real simple how to get there. Because I've tried to be, when I first started doing it, I got to the USCTs the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It took me days to figure out how to get back to the USCTs because it's not user friendly.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. Have a lot of veterans in the family, and I was always just using, their first and last names, and was able to obtain a lot of information. But to actually type in, the USCTs, I'll try that and see what comes up.
And then I have these same, because Fold 3 is a paid site, but
Yes.
I found these exact same records on Family Search. They just don't show the image. But I have that in here too. That's in here. So
Okay.
if you go on there and I have it listed, like Family Search, it's the exact same records.
Wow. Okay.
You just if you want to see the image itself, you just
Mm-hmm.
have to go to Fold 3, but the records are the same.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
And they're on Ancestry and wherever they were at, I put them on here, whether in the
Okay.
National Archives or whatever.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I would like to ask Dana, do you have Darcy relatives in Kentucky?
Not that I know of. I don't know much about the Dorsey side. Recently, when I became the caregiver for my father, um, I always thought his origin story started in Atlanta, but it actually started in Alabama.
Okay.
So, his last name was Dorsey, but his sibling's last name was Pate, Pate. And I know they're in Dayton, Ohio. So I don't know much about my father's side. I know more about my mother's side. And the Dorseys I do know about. I think there's a large LA Dorsey family. And when I became his caregiver, he told me we were related to Dorseys. His origin story as far as his paternal side, his father was in the military and he was stationed in Hawaii. And that's about as much as he knew about him that he told me. Because I did ask questions, as there was a lot of just missing information I didn't have.
Okay, thank you. The
But there
Dorsey,
may be some Kentucky Dorseys that I just don't know, because if he had siblings from his paternal side and they were Dorseys, he would not know anything about them. And now he's deceased. So that story has ended, and it's up to me to find out, the history.
okay, so there may be clues on his death certificate, like
Oh, okay.
where his family was from. And
Oh, okay.
that's how I found my great-great-grandfather. I looked at a death certificate, found his name, and when I researched him, I went all the way back to the Civil War.
Oh, okay. Are you related to the Dorseys?
Yes, my grandmother was a Dorsey, and
Okay.
it was a big family. There are some Dorseys in California, but I don't know all of them.
Okay.
Trade.
Okay. I had a conversation. I produce a podcast on Black civics, and we interviewed Judge Joe Brown, and he's also a descendant of Dorsey, because he
Oh,
told me that, and he gave me the history all the way back to an African chief, I believe, that was a Dorsey, and he's related to Dorseys on his mother's side.
okay, great. I'm gonna put my email in the chat so
Okay.
that if I find something, I can share it with you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for that.
As you see, we have acres of diamonds here. Acres of diamonds. All right. I want to share some agenda items with you. I want to go over them briefly. One of them is going to be find a grave. The other one, these are tools that we use for research. Find a grave, GED Match, Ancestry New Pro Tools Edition, and the Genealogy Bank. Miranda, you know about that, don't you? The Genealogy Bank, Miranda?
Yes, sir, I do.
When we get to that one, would you help us with that?
Sure.
And we'll give you an update on the California reparations bills that are currently being reviewed. And I'll also show you some verified records showing DNA matches to formerly enslaved ancestors. I had two European DNA cousins, Lauren DeMaul and Tommy Lewis, who shared their records with me, and we verified our family tree and where some of our history, where we were enslaved. We have common ancestors, and they shared documents with me to where the plantation was, who they suspected DNA matches was the slaveholder who were related to. So that's another example, like what David said. You know, we have to reach out. We can't get anything with our hands in a fist. If we reach out and just do our work, you know, God's going to bring the work to. He's going to bring the truth to us. We're reconstructing our family, and we're using DNA. And our European cousins, they're matching us. They're seeing us all over their trees. And some of them are curious. Some of them are helpful. And some run from the truth. But I've had some that have been generous enough to share some records with me. And because I was just on my way, just doing my research, and I just got a call, reach out, a message, and we collaborated, and it helped build our family tree. So the first one, I'm gonna share my tree. Before I go into that, does anybody have any comments or suggestions? Or I'm opening it up to, and feel free to ask any questions during this presentation. Any questions? Or how's things going with everyone today?
I have a question. I know that you're recording it, so how can I go back to the recording?
Okay. How did you get the invitation? Did you have an email address?
Yeah, John gave it to me.
Okay.
John Sterling, yes.
Okay. Well, could you leave your email address in the chat?
Okay.
And your contact information, and then I'll send it to you. Because I send out anyone who wants this recording, please put your email address in the chat, and I'll be sending it out to you. I'll send it out the recordings. At our recording, just so that you know, my YouTube channel is Moss Genealogy Research Group. Moss Genealogy Research Group. And our meetings are uploaded to that platform. Okay. Let me see, I got a couple of these. Let's go to this one first. All right. Can you see this Find a Grave memorial?
Yes.
Yes.
This is my grandfather, David Moss. And there's nothing more frustrating to have relatives that you know your relatives, but you don't know much about them. They have a surname, and you only know a few of your relatives, ancestors, but you know there was more of them. And that curiosity and that drive to reconstruct, my family and our family, that was my motive. I knew about my grandfather, but I didn't have very much information. And so that's why I took the test and started matching people, and we ended up, building our family tree on that side, the different branches. So I have a question for you. How many of you know your 4 grandparents? 4 grandparents.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Great. And that was I knew them, but I didn't know much about them. And that's what this research has the fruits of my research, the harvest. And some of my grandfather David here, some of my cousins, I discovered cousins. And some of your first friends when you're young, when you're growing up, are your cousins. They're the first ones that you can go to their house. They're the first ones that you can spend the night. They're the first ones that, that got your back when we're young. And now, in my seasoned years, I'm meeting cousins, DNA-related cousins. And that's invaluable. Reparations, they can't pay me enough for what I've been able to discover, these cousins of mine and the stories that we've had and sharing each other's information. And so now I have cousins, DNA cousins in my, 10 plus years. So we're having a pretty good time. It's therapeutic and it's, it's emotional because, the different health challenges and the different situations that we have to deal with on a daily basis, but we bring each other joy by communicating, being on this here platform, and sharing our records. So this is my grandfather, David Moss. Find a Grave is free, and it's a very helpful tool that you can use to find your relatives. And I recommend it. And you can do find out a lot of information about your family and their relatives from Find a Grave. Now, David Moss, that's my father's father. That's my grandfather. And I knew about the Moss, but I didn't know about his brothers and sisters, or if he even had any. But through genealogy and my DNA, I started connecting with them, and then their grandkids who are my age. And so that's how I have current DNA biological cousins. So somebody else went and put these records on this memorial, and some of the information, when I looked at it, it was incorrect. Matter of fact, it had the information about a white man named David Moss on this record, and it didn't have a picture. So what I did is, I was like, oh no, I got to see what I can do about, verifying this. And so I reached out to Find a Grave, and I let them know that that is my grandfather, and the records that you have are incorrect. And there's a little process. And so I gave them the correct information, And then they changed this memorial. And that's why you see my name right here. The photo, I added the photo by Jerry Moss. And somebody else had the, um, they had his marker, and their names on there. But I was able to add my grandmother to there, and my friend, my cousin Betty. We have a 19, her name Betty Cass. She's one of my European cousins. She helps me. She used this Find a Grave tool. And you'll find a lot of family members on Find a Grave that you didn't know, because when they lived together, they were in the same community. And a lot of them, when they passed, they were in the same grave sites and cemeteries. And the churches had, as you know, a number of cemeteries by the churches. So one branch of my family, they're in Arkansas, they're from Mount Vernon Church, and there's a cemetery in the back, and that's where a lot of my Burnell families are they're interned there. So that's just an example. And in Omaha, Nebraska, they all lived together. Where I worked in the packing houses, we all had a black section, and the cemetery, Graceland Cemetery, it has a black section in the cemetery. So, we have to honor them in order for us to stand. Where we sit today, somebody else stood for us to be where we're at. And so I recognize them, and this is a tool that you can use, Find a Grave. Any questions on Find a Grave? How many use that? Does anyone use Find a Grave?
I do.
How do you use it?
Right now, I create memorials for family members. I try to do it before somebody else does. And if not, sometimes I will,
Why before someone else? Why before somebody else does?
because I'm actively researching their family, and I may be able to connect them to other Find a Grave memorials for either their relatives or some of my relatives. And then right now I'm creating a spreadsheet, and I'm making a list of the memorials that I've created with the number, the dates, and their relatives. And I'm trying to connect them all together.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thanks for sharing that information.
No problem.
Do you see the value of the Find a Grave platform with your research?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm in the Indiana African American Genealogy group with Dwayne, and we just had a session on how to add GPS coordinates to your Find a Grave memorial. And like if you're visiting the cemetery, you can, if you have the Find a Grave app on your phone, it will you change your settings, and it will automatically, if you take a photo, it will put the coordinates of where the photo was taken. It will add it to the photo in your Find a Grave. And also, if you have, especially if you've already created the memorial, but you can also do it as you go. But I'm not going to go into all of that right now.
All this helps. It's good to know that you have those those experiences and those skills, and that's what we're doing. If I don't have the answer, it's good to know who we can refer to for certain information on different topics. It sounds like that tool that you use, you're experienced on it. So thanks for sharing that. All right, let's go to this one. Right here. Can you see this GED match? This GED match.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a tool that we use to connect with relatives who have taken different DNA test kits. And it has a lot of tools that you can use to figure out how you're related to different people. They have chromosomes, they have a research genealogy groups, but mainly you can find out who matches you on other platforms. And once you upload your raw DNA, you'll get a kit number. And here's the kit number right here. This is my kit number. And that's why I ask other people, do they have a GEDmatch kit number? And then we can see if we match. They have different tools over here, and I'll give you an example of it. And then we'll know what branch of the family that you're related to me on, or you're related to somebody else on. Let's take a look at my my GEDmatch one-to-many comparison, and we'll just say submit. See what comes. Here they are. Let me pull this over on my big screen. Can you see these results? I can make them a little bigger.
Yes, we can see them.
Okay. Here's the results. What happens is these different platforms, different people upload their DNA, and I call it like an Amazon DNA resource inventory. And it matches people from 23andMe, MyHeritage, and other platforms, but they have to upload theirs too to GEDmatch, and then you can do some comparisons. And so that's how you find some relatives that you didn't that didn't take the ancestry GEDmatch test. And here's an example. It has a kit number. It has the name of the person, their email, sex, male, and the total centromorgans. Those are the measurements so you can tell how close they are. This first one is 1928 centromorgans, measurements of DNA. We all have 7,000 individual DNA units, and our children have half of that. That's 3,500. And our grandkids have half of that, which is like about 1,700 to 1,900. And there's my grandson, DeLon. He shows up in 1,900. He's the first one, the highest match that uploaded, had his DNA uploaded to GEDmatch. And then here's some other individuals. And then you can see their names and addresses. And then as you go over, look at this. It tells you what generation away if they match you, and what test did they take. So here's an ancestry, Here's a My Heritage, Family Tree DNA, and 23andMe. They all uploaded theirs to the GEDmatch. I uploaded mine. And then I asked for the results, and it gave me these results. So I can reach out to them. That's just an overview about GEDmatch. Can somebody comment on that? Any questions on this tool and what it's meant for you to have a GEDmatch tool?
When you're looking at the amount of centimorgans, can you explain to people what the centimorgans is, and how low can you go on the centimorgans that you would consider? Because a lot of people say if you're under 7 centimorgans match, then that's just noise. And why is it important that you can use below 7 centimorgans, or how low should you go?
Let me take I'll just comment.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, can hear you better.
Okay. I'm just going to comment on it more. Obviously, the higher the centimorgans, and those are measurements, DNA measurements, the closer they are related to you. Now, Ancestry, a few years ago, they stopped showing us matches that had like 8 centimorgans and below. They stopped. And so before they did that, they gave us an indication that they were going to do that. So a lot of the Black people, we got all of our information. We stored it, copied it, and the lower your centimorgans, the further away that you're related. But with GEDmatch, you can use it for a lot more when you start to get more specific. You can do some of your research with your chromosomes, and you can match more people because Ancestry only goes up to 8 centimorgans. But this GEDmatch, you can say you could lower it to everybody who matches you from 3 centimorgans and up. And that means you'll get more people who would match you. Can you comment on that, David?
Well, yeah, so when a lot of people don't like to use 3 centimorgans when you're doing the DNA, don't like to go below 7 centimorgans because they say anything beyond that is white noise. But I say that's bullcrap, because if someone's matching you in DNA, it's going to be they're a family member. So, and I say, do you stop having family members after 7 centimorgans? What that means is just they're more distant. That's all. They're just a further away. Because one of my sons could match one of you guys at 30 centimorgans, where my other son may match you at 3. Just means that he didn't get as much DNA, or he may not match you at all. But that doesn't mean that he's not related to you, because I've actually talked to people and I said, look, we're cousins because you don't match me, but you match my mother. And they argue over the down. No, we're not related because I don't match you. And I said, I know, but you match my mother. And they said, you don't get it. I match your mother. I don't match you. And I said, you know what? Now that I think about it, you're right. We're not related. So some people like that, but that's clearly and you will hear that when you start talking to people and they say never lower your DNA beyond 7 centimorgans. And those people, the same people will say, I've heard some people, they'll claim a lot of their white family members that were slave owners or beyond, knowing that they do not match that person 7 centimorgans. Because it's so far, they're so distant that they're not matching it any at all. But they'll claim those people, but yet if you're matching them at 5 or 6 centimorgans, it's like, well, that's my 5th parent, my 5th cousin. The DNA is still there. It's saying, so, just be aware of that too. When someone tells you that, it's your prerogative to say, okay, I'm matching David at 6 centimorgans, but it's not quite 7, so we're not cousins. Yeah, right. But I matched his family, another family member at 30.
Wow.
Example of the different tools that we use to
We're not hearing you again. You're
this is an example of the tools that we use to reconstruct our families. GEDmatch is one of them. And when they originally created this site, it was helpful, but it was used for law enforcement. And one of the persons, criminals that was caught, was a Golden State Killer. One of his relatives took a test 15 years after his crimes, the Golden State Killer's crimes. 15 years after, they saved the DNA, and one of the killer's relatives took a test, and from that they triangulated and found out who possibly was the Golden State Killer. They surveyed him, they followed him. He went into a coffee shop, came out, and dumped his coffee and threw his cup in the trash. The investigators got that cup, and they got his DNA, and they matched it to the crime scene. And that's how they caught the Golden State Killer. It's through GEDmatch. So it's a private, the authorities, police authorities, they do use the platform, and there's some privacy that you can sign off on. You know, there's some more restrictions, not necessarily restrictions, but you can protect some of your information when you sign on to it. Can somebody elaborate any more on that? How about that, David?
Okay, I had stepped away to get my grandkids something to eat. I just missed the last part. Just say
the Golden State, that it's the federal. And here's what happened recently. You know, you can go up. It's free. The first for the things that I just showed you, but for some more research options in that platform, you can pay $10 a month, and that's tier 1, and it gives you more research tech items that you can use. And what happened is some of the police and started using like private accounts to do their work, and so the GEDmatch had to let them know, hey, if you want to use the platform, you have to pay. So there's a lot of things that goes on when with this DNA. We know there was a challenge with 23andMe being sold up for it was being sold, and everyone was up in arms about it, wanting to take their information off of 23andMe. It's eventually have been purchased by the original owner. So there's a lot of politics in this also.
Yeah. And to add to what Jerry was saying too, like I'm really like down to earth when I talk about things, so I don't try to use the biggest terms or anything else. But when you will hear people say they're not on GEDmatch because they're not putting their information out there. It's too much. Number one, they're not that important, because if you don't have your DNA on there, you've got other family members that are on GEDmatch. And they can always go to a person's Facebook page, and you can look and say, oh, you were in Hawaii last month with your children, and these are pictures of your children. This is what school you went to, because they put that information on there. This is where you work. This is your parents. These are your cousins. They put all that information out. But then if you ask a person to take a DNA test or they put on GEDmatch, I don't want to give out my information. And like I said, I'm retired military. I've been retired 23 years. But the military, I mean, the government, if they want my DNA, they've already got it. And like I said, I'm not that important. If I was like some kind of spy or anything like that, they've already got it. If they want it, they can get it. So, you'll hear a lot of people say, well, I don't know if I want to be on JetMatch because they sell my information. Well, how do you know Ancestry is not doing it? 23andMe, we don't know what they're doing with our DNA. But because we're trying to locate, people use for one thing, I think Jerry also when he's asking like, why do you want like you have to ask people why do they want to take a DNA test? There's some people that told me they want to take a DNA test because they want to know how much Indian they have so they can get paid. And I tell them, there's Native Americans living on reservations that are poor. It's some of the worst conditions ever. They're not all, just because they're Native American, they're not rich. And if you're 20% or 9% or 3%, and these people are 80 and 90% Native American, they're living on the reservations right now. What makes you think you're getting anything? But anyway,
Miranda,
go ahead.
Oh, I completely agree. I'll just say that I have a friend who, she knows that I love genealogy, I love family history research, and she asked me why are you into it, and what is it about it? And I like the connections. I enjoy making connections with people and being on platforms such as this to be able to connect with like-minded individuals who also enjoy the subject, because as we all know, we cannot discuss this with just anybody. Attention spans are short. People they're a little bit leery about information found. My friend, for instance, she was like, I don't trust that DNA stuff. I'm not going to do it and this and that. I don't know what they're doing with my DNA. I said, you go to the doctor, you give up blood work, you give up, all kinds of DNA samples all the time. We don't know what they're doing with our DNA at the hospitals, but you know what? It is what it is. I just personally, I'm okay with it. And this is just me, but I feel like, I have nothing to hide. I have not committed anything that I should not have. So I'm okay with it. As long as I'm able to make some connections, I always say, I try to find out all that I can while I can with whomever I can. All that, that like to share, especially family. I literally just returned from New Jersey. I went to a family reunion. I found these third and fourth cousins through Ancestry. It took us a couple years to really figure out how we were related, but we figured it out. We had a family reunion and it was awesome. Absolutely amazing. I was on the reunion committee. That's why I've missed a lot of, Zoom meetings, because we were having Zoom meetings, all members from different states, this reunion committee for this event that took place on last weekend. It was beautiful. And I'm so grateful for it. And because of these platforms like this, we made it happen.
thank you so much. And while you're at it, could you tell us a little bit about the genealogy bank?
Sure. Let's see here. Genealogy Bank, I have, let me see if I could try to find my
Go ahead, David.
Screen here. Oops,
No, she says, so, gosh, I lost my train of thought now.
I'm so sorry.
Gosh, I'll get back because you probably, hold on a second.
Okay.
I got so into listening when she said, I forgot what I was saying. What I was thinking about.
When you're ready.
Oh, yeah, I know what it was. And this is for Dana. So another thing, and this is for everybody that's in the group, another reason why taking your DNA is so important, and Jerry brought this up earlier about reparations. In order to, a lot of times they're going to say they're going to give reparations for people that family members were formerly enslaved. Well, you've got to prove that as well, through documentations, through DNA, because according to them, they're going to say, especially with Trump in office, well, they was all free. They ain't got no proof that they was enslaved. They was all free under my name. So finding this is important. And not only that, there are so many different universities out there in HBCUs that, like with the University of Virginia, Dr. Shelley, she runs a program there, and they're looking for descendants of the individuals that helped build the university. And there's actually put up a big memorial out there on there, and those students, and then descendants from those individuals could either get scholarships, and I think later they're talking about having them a free ride, a tuition, for your tuition. So if you're saying, well, I don't know if I want to take a DNA, but your DNA itself can be one of the keys for your descendants, for your generations to come, to get a free education. Is it worth spitting in a tube? And I think Georgetown University is doing it as well, but it's a lot of perks behind it because we never know. You don't know we don't know what our great great ancestors did without the research.
No, that is so true. I know Georgetown uh has some information. I know Harvard has some information. So it's coming out slowly, but what they're doing is a lot of them, Georgetown admitted, and then they were, going to offer scholarships and those alike. But Harvard, I think, is like dragging their feet on having some artifacts. Um, there's some other stuff they really don't want to know because it'll connect us back to them, and that'll make the reparations justice claim even stronger. But right now, and Jerry will go over this, like we're really fighting hard because we're aware that if it doesn't happen in California, if reparations does not happen on a substantial level, then most likely every reparations commission, even though they have a commission, it's going to drag because California, of course, is the most liberal state. If it's going to happen anywhere, it would happen here. And there's just so much pushback. But I won't go into that. I'll let Jerry say what he has to say. But thank you for that, David.
You're welcome. And I'm partnering with Howard University too, so it'll come out. It'll be on at least on our website.
Go ahead, Miranda.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, David and Dana. Let's see here. Okay, I'm trying to select the share option.
One of the things that happened, I'll give you a little history while you put it together. We were at a genealogy research group meeting. We're part of the San Diego African American Genealogy Research Group, Miranda and myself.
Yes.
And we were at a meeting that we had at the Family History Museum with the Latter-day Saints. You know about their program. And so we sometimes we have meetings at their Latter-day Saints family library. And so Miranda was there, and she started, while we were having a different presentation, she gave us a presentation on this genealogy bank. And we just started having fun, genealogists, oh, we got another tool. And, we just wanted to use our tools. And it was very helpful to find out some of your family history. Go ahead, Miranda.
Okay. Let's see here. Give me just a second. Over here.
Has anybody else used that genealogy bank?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Has anyone else used this platform before?
I've used it before.
You have? Okay. I personally, I love it. It is about $19.99 a month. I called myself signing up for it, and I was going to just use it maybe for about a month to see what I could find. I am going to be very honest. On all sides of my family, I have found, close to 200 articles. Basically, once you sign up to genealogybank.com, you create an account. I have created one, and all you do is you just enter your email address and you create a password. And then you can use the search button. You can browse like newspapers by state, like title, date, and any recently added content. The collections include newspaper archives, birth records, marriage records, passenger lists. And you see all the categories here, such as obituaries, census records, historical books. And then you've got clippings, and of course help. You can contact them. I haven't contacted anyone, but let's see here. Just for instance, I'll go ahead and put in my great grandmother, Iola. I'll have to go by her married name, Douglas. I have found a lot of different articles, anything from obituaries.
You have two L's in there. Is that supposed to be two L's?
For
Douglas.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have on my reading glasses. I seem to have misplaced those. And thank you for that. Thank you. And usually what it'll do is, okay, so it brings you to this screen here. And you can enter any type of keywords. Wait, where's my mouse here? Okay, you can enter keywords, just to kind of give you, maybe a more narrowed search or result. And for instance, she was born in 1900, and she died in 1999. So what I can do is I can just kind of, you enter, it doesn't have to be exact. You can enter a date range. And then for instance, she was born in Alabama. However, I did find her obituary in the state of Florida. And then from there, you can kind of update your results. You can either update here or even here, either one. Some articles have appeared, as you see, but I just want to be able to update the information. You see how it dropped it down to 16 results. Like for instance, what do we have here? Okay, as you see, once you have viewed a record, and I'm so sorry, I'm looking for my mouse here. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm learning to use this new laptop. I'm used to a regular mouse and a computer. But you see how this article has grayed out, and that's simply because I have viewed it, and it gives you a date viewed on March 21st, 2025. So if I open this, it just kind of gives, this is looks like a directory where she's mentioned. And for instance, we have that information there, and you can continue. For instance, here's your results, 1 of 16. You can click next, or you can go back to results. Well, first let me slow down a little bit. This is exciting for me. Okay, now sometimes you will get other names, and the best way to kind of filter that is, let's go back to results. There's an option here, exact name search. So you just kind of select that, you update your result. And let's see if I can find her actual record though. Okay, here we go. Well, here's one of them. Okay, so anytime one of your ancestors may be mentioned, the article will show, and the name is usually highlighted, and there's an option to turn the highlighting on or off. You can save a record here, print the record. You can clip it, just kind of select the part of the article that you would like to keep. For instance, let me kind of close out of that there. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay, so for instance, this is an article about Samuel Houston Thornton. He was actually, one of her brothers, from what I remember. But basically, this is an ancestor. This is an obituary, and it mentions my great-grandmother because she was one of his sisters. So that's kind of how that works, where you put in a name, and anything on that person, it'll come up. And it gives you the option you select a state. You can select, you can narrow it down to like a city, for instance, Ocala, because that's where she she lived after she left Alabama. And I'm so sorry, for some reason I'm not finding her exact obituary, but it's kind of how you do that. But I do like it. I like it a lot because, for instance, let me see if I can find my other great-grandmother. Her name was...
Now, you see where it's at the top where it says My Folder? Would you save your documents in there?
We can. Yes, we can definitely do that. And you know what? I have not do that, but I'm sorry, I have not done that. But let me see if there's anything in here. Because usually what I do, as soon as I find something, I just automatically print it. I'm really kind of bad about that. I print everything. Let's see. I should probably seriously create a folder. That would be good.
Yeah, just hitting around that.
Thank you. I'm trying to think, what was her name? Oh, Henrietta Williams. And, you know, just doing this research, you know, you find, okay, so it's not in a save, but this is another one of my great-grandmothers. You just kind of start noticing how information was published. Let's see, she was 1906 roughly.
Now, do you like Genealogy Bank better than newspapers.com?
I personally do, yes. To me, the articles are clearer, and I have just found so much more.
Well, maybe at some time, you know how you're going over this now?
Yes.
Maybe when you're free one day, we can come and take out maybe 10 minutes of your time and you can do the exact thing you're doing now. And then I can just put it on the website. I just add it on the website because it's a lot of times people are more visual.
Yes.
And by you going through this, and you don't have to we can just do a screen share and you just share your screen and just walk through it and I'll record it and stick it on the thing. Just, you know, just talk just like you're talking, just normal talk, everyday thing. So
thank you. That would be wonderful. I would not mind sharing. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I could find the exact article. I don't know what's going on. For some reason, I'm not finding what I was looking for. Because this was 1958, basically, but it's not coming up. Just a moment. I'm so sorry.
Miranda?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
I just want to share this with everyone. While we were in the you know, the computer room, we started doing our search because at the Family History Library, they had this program that's accessible to the people who are there. So you don't have to pay for it. It was at that library. So that was some of our first times using it. And we started putting our family's names in and everything. And we were coming up with when they got a parking ticket, our mother might have got a ticket.
Yes. And all kinds of information.
Then we were talking about when somebody was in the Golden Gloves and when they were at 16 or 17 years old. So
and
it was humorous, is what I'm saying. And that's what this research does. It's therapeutic, it's fun. It's really
it's very entertaining.
I think it's healthy. I think it's healthy
to find information. I'm just gonna kind of throw this date in here because it also this is bad. I do not have on my reading glasses and I gotta find them. Okay, Eugene. Okay, I'm trying to find Eugene because what it is, I'm looking up my grandfather. Let's see here. He's also in Ocala, but he was so excited. I found a news article where they mentioned him in the newspaper as being one of the local. Here it is, right here. One of the local residents there who had gone off to the military. Okay, Eugene Gordon, and here's the address here, and it just kind of it mentions a resident of Anamosa, Iowa, and then that's where he was stationed at one point. For a number of years, Mr. Gordon retired and moved to, oh goodness, that's not the I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not expect to be presenting, but that's okay. I can do this. I've got this. Give me a second here. I know it's one of these. So sorry. Oh, here we go. Because he was a postal clerk. He tells us about his days as a postal clerk in the military. Okay, here we go. So Eugene Gordon, postal clerk, third class U.S. Navy, is serving aboard the USS. It was supposed to be Ricks, not Rocks, but I'm sorry, Rooks. That's right, Rooks. Rooks. Observed by President John F. Kennedy during a 2-day visit recently to the Atlantic Fleet in Norfolk, Virginia. Gordon is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Lewis Gordon. Now, you see how the article there, okay, it mentions his name, it's highlighted there, but, and I know everyone's aware of the fact that when researching, you find, like, for instance, this article, it lists actually his stepfather, but his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lewis Gordon, and it gives an address that they lived at. So to me, finding stuff like that, just little details, I look for things like that when doing research. But that was one, and then I just really wish I could find this other one. I don't know why it's not showing, but let me see if I can find it. But I mean, I have found anything from obituaries to military announcements to, oh goodness, up in Rhode Island, where my father's side is from, a lot of the just information about the Native Americans, some of the like powwows and just different things that they were part of. Just a really interesting search or research tool. I do appreciate it because I mean I find it very user friendly. Because you're just basically putting in a first and a last name and maybe a date range. You're selecting a state, and then you can narrow it down to a city. You've got your keyword information that you can enter in. But I do like it, and I know others have used it, but hopefully those who haven't, maybe they could try it out even for a test run and see what you're able to find. I mean, is there anything that, or anyone that, I can look up for someone or?
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
I have a grandfather who has an unusual spelling for the name Purdue, and I looked for him on newspapers.com, and I've been on several other sites, but newspapers.com does not have all the newspapers.
I see.
So I'm curious if you could put in George, and his last name is P like in Paul, Eordue. Yeah, Due.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. We'll do a search, and then it'll bring us to that screen where. Now, do you have a date range as far as maybe?
Okay, that's him. That article that popped up.
Yes.
He was accused of being a car thief, but he was working for a company transporting cars, delivering cars. And so this is the only article I've been able to find for him, but I haven't found like his obituary, things like that in any of the papers.
Now, sometimes, let me see. I've also found that, let me see, there was an option to just kind of put in a last name and see what pops up.
Okay.
So I just removed his first name. We'll see if anything else comes up with that last name, since it is a very unique spelling. I've never seen that before. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so this newspaper article. Oh, it says that might not be. No, that's a different spelling. Plus, the date range would be off because that's 1869. And
Plus, it's not in English.
oh, yeah. Let's see. You said the first name was George. Do you have a date range, maybe?
1893 through 1975.
Okay. Oh, the year I was born. Let's see here. And maybe a state. I should probably try.
Well, he moved around, so he lived in Texas. He lived in Tennessee, and he lived in Missouri.
Yeah, it looks like just that one record for Texas so far, but you said Missouri?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like nothing's for Missouri, but you know what? We're just going to try this out. Yeah, it looks like still just the one. That's interesting.
Okay, I see a Social Security death index.
Okay, if you don't mind helping me out, just right here. Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what's there. Oh, it's got the spelling. Oh, state of issue, Tennessee. Oops, sorry about that. Date of birth, August 5th, 1893. Okay. Tarrant County?
Yeah, that's Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay. Wow. 81 years and 6 months at the age of his death. Now, had you seen that before, or?
No.
Okay.
I'll take a screenshot of it.
Sure.
That's awesome.
So when you're on a document like this, is now what you need to start doing is adding it to your folder.
Yes, I sure do. Oh my goodness. I have a lot that I would be adding. Yeah, especially now that it's kind of odd.
Could you go back to that newspaper article? And
Yes.
I'd like to take a screenshot of that.
Sure. Let's see here. Go back. And then I'm just going to select this just to move this out of the way. Hopefully this doesn't stop sharing. So I'm going to select hide that little message. Okay, can you all still see this?
Yes.
Okay, so let me try to. Okay, so we'll start at the top. Usually what I do is I try to highlight from here. Well, when I do my screenshots, for instance, let me, just as an example. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Clippings. Am I doing clippings? Yeah. No.
Can you zoom out a little bit to get the whole thing?
Yes, ma'am. Let me, oh, there we go. Okay, so it's a short article. Yeah, because usually what I try to do is I try to get, I'll take like all this information here. I'll do like a full-on screenshot just to be sure that I get the date of the article and the location.
Okay.
Yeah, trust me, I have found all kinds of entertaining and interesting information myself. I had a family member who apparently took a uniform from a military base that he was just, you know, they had a lot of our ancestors working on the military camps and so forth. They weren't necessarily in the military themselves, but they worked on, I guess, some of the camps. He took a a uniform and had gotten in trouble about that. So, and I've seen some DUI cases. I mean, you name it, it's kind of there. It's interesting, some of the things that we come across.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to figure out where to look up the FBI file on this particular case to find out how, because I don't think he went to prison. He probably was acquitted, but I want to find. I'll get into that. But thank you very much.
You're welcome. No problem at all.
Thank you, Miranda.
You're welcome.
Well, you did great for an impromptu.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your patience.
I don't apologize for putting you on the spot.
I know it, and that's okay. I appreciate it.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, let me stop sharing.
All right.
Okay, let's do this, and there we go.
Okay. Okay, everyone. We're about ready to shut it down. It's been a long day. Excuse me, I have some other information to share, but I want you to, have some time to enjoy your families. Is there anything that you want to discuss? It's like open mic Sunday. You're able to discuss any subject that's on your mind. And
I put my contact information in the chat. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. That's good.
Thank you, David.
And I want to make sure that everybody, I have all your email information. So when I send out the meeting invite, I'll make sure I get it to you. Go ahead, Carice.
Yeah, I was just typing a message. I had to get ready to leave out, but I just wanted to say it's been a great show. I don't remember who the lady was. Was it Dana or someone? She was talking about she didn't have expectations. You are in the right spot with the right group. I didn't know my family, my father's family. And of course, Jerry sent me a kid and has been helping me out. And I listen to these different programs. I also go to the other show because I learned so much about what other people are doing. So as I begin to explore with Pro Tools, then I can remember some things. And it takes a while. There's tons of information. But if you just get involved in the show and whoever the mentor is going to help you, most people on here are very open and they'll leave their information if you need help. It's great. And you're going to learn a lot. So anybody who's just new at it, just don't give up. It takes a minute till you get familiarized with the terminology, the language, all the little shortcuts and ins and out. And that's what I'm doing. So I certainly has enjoyed the show. Thank you for those of you that gave presentations. And again, thank you, Jerry. This is the man. He is really into this and he really so freely gives and so freely shares. And I like to acknowledge him in that every time. Thank you.
Thank you, Clarice. And I met her through Double R. That's one of my cousins that we met through our affiliation with the California Reparations Task Force. And, it's very important that we met different people and there's a genealogy component to California reparations. And so that's what I focused on, but I do know the politics, but it's the genealogy component that I want to help and help people, reconstruct their family. And I did give Clarice her kit, and we've been close, and she's did her research and found some of her family members, and that's therapeutic. That's my fuel. That keeps me going. So I look forward to working with you, Dana, and with that, is there anything that anybody wants to discuss? It's open mic, and then I'm going to just ask everybody for their closing comments. If there's any topic that you want to discuss that's on your mind, this is the time to discuss it. Bring it up.
Oh, I do want to say if anybody has taken their DNA test and that they are on Jet Match, I do have a genealogy, basically it's a family DNA, so we could all actually be related. And you can put if you put your kit number in the chat, or if you email it to me, I'll see if we're actually related. And and one thing about Jet Match, I think is important, and even on Ancestry as well. If you have family members that's taking their DNA, even if some people take it for whatever reasons, but they're not really going to follow up. Ask them if you can manage their DNA kits, or even if you can if they can share their DNA with you. The reason why is sometimes I'll look at a DNA and I was like, oh, you're related on my mother's paternal side, or you're related on my grandfather's side. And I can tell because I have so many family members that I've had tested, and I know how I'm related to them. I'm like, these people are this is my mother's siblings' children. I'm like, okay, I know. But then if I see someone on my mother's paternal side, I'm like, you're related to this group. Or if I see that you're related to certain white family members and other family members that were enslaved, I was like, I know exactly we're all from Troup County, Georgia. So the more family members you can get tested, or you can have manage their kit or have kit on Jet Match, it makes it so much easier to know that. But yeah, thank you. That's all.
There's a couple kits that were put on the chat for you, David.
Got it. I'm adding them right now.
This is awesome. Okay, closing comments. Before we have closing comments, does anyone have a nomination for the MVP of the meeting today? One, two.
I would say it's David.
I agree. Yep. I'm thankful for that information that was shared on Black Pearls of Genealogy. My goodness. It's an amazing looking site.
Thank you.
Well, anybody second? Who seconds that nomination?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Our MVP for this meeting is David Antony Taylor.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah, that's something that we do, and it's fun. So, closing comments, Dana, Michelle, and David.
I was going to ask a question if anyone's going to attend the Zoom Maggie on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I'm actually a moderator. I'm a moderator every year. Sometimes if the person's teaching is later, or I have to step in and do some of the classes. So yeah,
Okay.
I'll be there.
I'll be there. Track 1.
Do you
Are
have
you with Dr. Shelley? Are you under Dr. Shelley's or?
Yes.
Yep, I'll be moderating your class then.
All right.
Do you have the link, Michelle?
I don't. I think they shut registration down at the end of June.
Okay.
But they do it every year. And I had the opportunity to attend about 2 years ago. And it was a lot of information, but it was great information. And I'm attending it this year. There's like 4 different tracks, I believe. Maybe David knows a little bit more, but look for, keep your eyes out for it. I can tell you what the website is just when you go to it, but definitely look at it because This has been a game changer for me as far as just knowing how to start, what to do. I'll put the website in the chat. There you go. But if you're starting, even if you've been doing it for a while, I highly suggest taking it. In fact, if you guys are familiar with the website Cindy's List, the year that I was in the conference, Cindy was in my class.
Oh my
And
God.
you would tend to think that someone with that much knowledge would not be in a class, but she said it never hurts to learn, and it gave her some genealogy from a different perspective. I found that very humbling that she
That,
would actually attend, so it was pretty good.
that is so crazy because I moderated that class.
Oh, okay.
I was the moderator.
Yeah, it was good. It was very good.
That's great information. So,
Sorry, one more thing. Sorry, Raina and Michelle, I cannot put you guys into my project. I'm sorry to say that because you're already in the project. You were already in the project already on GenMatch.
Good.
Both of you guys are already in the project.
that's pretty cool. So, closing remarks, Michelle, Dana, and David.
Closing remarks. Just I'm thankful. I don't know if I believe, I guess, well, I believe I was supposed to be here because this invitation was sent to someone else. And um that person invited me to come on and they're not here. So, but no, this is a great starting point. This is not something that I thought about. That's what I mean when I say no expectations. I didn't have any when I came here. I didn't know. I knew it was about genealogy. I know Double R talked about his family member, but now I'm able to connect those dots. And I just look forward to whatever information is given, whatever information I can share with my family, and just knowing where I came from. I think it's so important that we trace our genealogy. I know that also I attend a sound bath weekly, and that person is also a Reiki practitioner, and she knows someone that is a genealogy expert that also does the Akashic records. So they have that, specialized component to this information. So I thank you all. I look forward to what's next. And thank you so much, Jerry, for donating the DNA kit. And I put my email address in the chat.
Thank you. Michelle?
My closing comment would be thank you. And this gives me it helps me finish out my week. I start on Thursdays with a group of people from Aliceville, and then I stop on Sunday with this group. And for me, that helps my weekends because those are really the only times that I can spend time learning genealogy and to get insight from a lot of other people, catching new sources, looking for new ways of doing things. It just helps me stay focused. I could be out doing 101 other things, but I love doing the genealogy and I love sitting in groups where I feel like I'm going to learn something new.
You have a lot to share, and we appreciate it. That's invaluable, and thank you so much for participating. MVP.
Well, first, I want to thank everybody for even just letting me come to this meeting. And I just, I'm real thankful for that stuff. And I also wanted to make sure that my new two cousins that's on here that I found, Marina and Michelle, we're definitely related. So they're my new cousins, and I want to say, it's nice to meet you guys.
Hey,
And
cousin.
anytime anyone needs me for anything, and it doesn't my wife gets mad because she's like, you're giving out so much information, you're spending time with people, no one's paying you anything to do all this stuff. And I'm like, but it's not about that. So it's not about the money, but I get like Jerry, my reward is, hey, number one, finding family, helping another person find a document or that missing link that, just working together. Because even like I can't do it all by myself. Every time I come and talk to someone, I'm learning something else too. And the one thing I do want people to understand is that sometimes, like I always say, what I used to say, somebody told me to stop saying it, is when I would go to different Zoom meetings or someone, oh, you need to talk about this, you need to give a presentation. And I'd be like, well, I'm not at the same level as, Renata Sanders, Dr. Shelley Murphy. And there's like, no, 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 you're good at what you do. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a presenter. I'm not this, I'm not that, and I don't know. But as I start being around these individuals more and more, I found out they are good in one area. When you go outside of it, someone says, well, I know everything there needs to know about North Carolina. Then you ask them, hey, can you help me with the record in Louisiana? Or can you help me with something in a census record or DNA? And they're like, no clue. They have no clue. So everybody, just because they're smart in one area doesn't mean that they know everything. So you can always learn from someone. And just like tonight, like Jerry and Miranda, you guys are teaching that stuff. Like I didn't know as much about genealogy bank until you started talking. I was like, oh, that's when I'm like, you got to share this with everybody. Because sometimes people think they don't have a lot to share or to put into it, but you all have so much, and it's so many. You could find a little shortcut or a way to find documents that someone else hasn't even thought of. So everyone needs to make sure that, don't hold yourself at a lower standard because you may be new at genealogy, because just you're looking at things as a different approach, because some people, they're so stuck into researching a certain way, they do not like to try the new as technology evolves, they're not going to evolve with it.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said, like I said, I'm glad to meet two of my new cousins here, and I love my cousins to death.
Oh, thanks, MVP. Jojo and then Pat. Jojo, you still with us? Go ahead, Pat. Closing comments.
Um, well, first I'd like to thank John for inviting me to this group. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I'm glad that I've had this experience and I'm looking forward to becoming a part of this group. My groups are growing because uh, I met David, and then I met some of the Aliceville group, and that's how I got to know John. And so now I've learned a lot tonight that I didn't expect to learn. So this is exciting for me.
Well, you shared a lot with us too. You just you held back just a little bit, but we encouraged you, and then you just came on out with the information, and and we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Miranda, please.
Hi, everyone. I don't think I got a chance to officially introduce myself, but
Go
my name
ahead.
is Miranda.
Do that while you're doing it here.
Okay. My name is Miranda Hazard, and I've been here in San Diego, California for goodness over 30 years. But as mentioned, I do really enjoy family history research. I work full time, but in between time and on weekends, I'm always either on Ancestry or Genealogy Bank. What do you call it? Family Search. Just all, some of the different platforms. I mean, if I may think about an ancestor or something else. Let me look up something, see what might come up. And with Ancestry, I don't know if we went over this, but the Pro Tools, it's an extra $10 a month on top of your usual subscription. But to me, it's worth it. It's kind of neat to see the new features with that. I'm still learning, but I do like it. And just overall, I'm so grateful for this platform. Jerry mentioned that we're both part of the San Diego African American Genealogy Research Group, and we just recently had an event at what is it, the Skyline Library here in San Diego, where a lot of the members were there, and we had different presentations on our ancestors. Really, just more so like presentation boards set up at tables with research information like books, and there we had we had spoken word from one of our professors who's one of our members who's a retired professor. She read some Langston Hughes poems. She recited some Langston Hughes poems. I mean, we pride ourselves in just being able to reach out to the community and help others with their genealogy research as much as we can, those that would like help and assistance. But I love this. I really do. And I'm so grateful for it. And one day there was a presentation on GEDmatch numbers and connections. And that's how Jerry and I found that we're connected somewhere down the line, but we are connected. And so I try to log on when I can, if I don't have something else going. But, every time I'm on, I enjoy it. And I thank all of you. And I'm just glad to have met each and every one. I know that was a lot.
Thank you, Miranda.
You're welcome.
Jojo, can you are you available?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Sorry.
Could you
Hi,
please
everyone.
give
Hi.
us some closing remarks and let us know where you live and just a little bit about yourself?
You do the same questions every time, Jerry.
Well, come on with it. Some people need to know who you are.
I'm a stranger in disguise.
I know. That's why we're trying to flush you out.
But listen, I was down in San Diego. I ain't seen not one black person. What's going on?
Jerry, where were we at?
Inside with the air conditioner.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
I hope you had a great
Jerry,
time.
my philosophy is I love to see people that's interested in genealogy researching. It's so fun. It's either you love it or you don't. So there's no in between, right?
Yeah.
We will always be doing this. It never stops. I have friends say, "You still working on that tree?" Yeah, I am. And don't keep asking me because I'll never finish, right?
Where do you live?
New York.
Whoa, East Coast.
But I got lots of family in Cali. Lots. They left here and went over to Cali. And they're like, "How you like it out here?" Nah, I don't like it out here. It's too hot.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And I appreciate that. And Miranda, in my closing remarks, I want to close with a tool that I saw on Freeman's Friday.
Okay.
And I want to share it with you.
Sure.
Because you mentioned Pro Tools, didn't you? You mentioned Pro Tools.
Oh, before you get to that, Jerry, real quick, I want to let everyone know.
Go ahead.
If you're kind of stuck at a brick wall, you can call Family Search, and they'll give you some time on what you need help with.
Really?
Right? You just let them know the line you're looking at, and you probably could give them your tree that you have up on Ancestry, and they'll help you out. They'll send you the notes of what they found before they even sit down and meet with you via Zoom.
Okay.
So that's really cool.
That's invaluable information.
Right, right.
Family Search, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Miranda, you mentioned Pro Tools. I just want to share this one with you.
Okay.
Like on your home page, it's one of these. Some of us have it. I guess some people don't have it. It's a beta program. Look right over here to the right. See if you have Pro Tools. Do we have matches by cluster? And you click on that, and look what it does.
Right, that's a new feature.
It's a new feature. So can you see it? This is what it has. It has these different names.
Clusters.
Uh-huh. And they have the other ones over here, the abbreviations. And then you can go down to here's all your paternal side, your maternal side. It gives you information and gives you comparisons. And down here, look at this. Clusters from the largest to the smallest. And so here's 16 matches on my paternal side, 13 on my maternal, 11 on
Click on one, Jerry. Click on one.
All right, here's
so when you click on it, So when you click on it, that group, that cluster, you all share the same common ancestor.
and then it has them right up here. And you can look at one hunter and it gives you your shared central organs. So it's a new tool that they have. That's for all. And then for my father's side, you look at that, and then all these people over here on this side, on my father's, these DNA matches to me on my father's side. It has all these different, the different clusters, and you can do some comparisons. I just want to share you. That's a new tool that they have, and there's also on YouTube. You can YouTube the new beta program clusters on Ancestry, and then it'll show you more about it.
Okay, thank you.
Does everybody know how to save the chat? So, because we got a lot of information there, contact information. Does everybody know how to save the chat?
No. How do we go about doing that?
I'm on a Mac computer, but I think it should be the same. Once you click on chat, then if you look at the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see 3 dots.
Yes.
If you click that, you're going to see save chat. It should be in the upper right-hand corner of the box.
It says save chat.
Yeah.
Okay, let me move the cursor up.
Now, where does it save it to, David?
You can save it to it'll save it to your computer, or right on your computer, or once you kind
download?
of, because
Will
once you
download
do it, what I do is when I click save chat, it's another feature on the bottom. It says show in Finder. And then once you click that, it's going to open up and you'll see the file and you can save it to wherever you want. If you look at the bottom of the chat, it'll say save in Finder.
I usually copy all of them.
Oh yeah, you don't have to do all that. That's great.
I copy them all, and then I paste them in an email.
Yeah,
and
this is.
Then I have them all there where I can, as I'm going through, where I can just pick on them and use
Because
them.
once you click save in chat, you say save. Open in Finder. It's just going to be like a text file, and you can just save that to wherever you want. Or if you look on, once you save it, you can go to your computer, do searches for chats, and they're all going to be there. You just search for meeting chats, and it could be 100 of them in there or more, and they have the dates and everything there. So
That's great. And then when I send my invitation out for the next meeting, I always attach the chats. With it. Which means the next meeting is on the 20th, July the 20th. If the good Lord wills. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thank you. You too.
It's all good. It's all God.
That's right.
Miranda, I'm going to be looking forward to hearing from you. So
yes, sir.
When you get off here, just give me a call.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon, Dana.
Thank you so much.
Everyone.
JoJo, East Coast. East Coast. And guest speaker. Yeah. meeting. We shared a lot of information together, and it's a blessing to meet, greet, and share. And it's really nice being on this journey together, sharing all the information that we've shared, and seeing the smiles, the harvest. The laborers, harvest is great. The laborers are few. So it's all good. It's all God.